You're not afraid of showing up. You're afraid of being seen by the wrong people. But what if your dream clients are silently waiting for you to speak up? In this episode of Wisdom to Wealth, I'm going to share my journey with overcoming the fear of judgment and what to do when you receive bad comments. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Shamara Star Cox, TV producer and marketing coach. My goal is to help 6 and 7 figure business owners get seen and get paid by creating binge worthy videos on social media, and this is my podcast, Wisdom to Wealth, where I get to interview the wealthiest entrepreneurs and business owners in the world. Today, I'm doing a solo episode. I'm talking about my journey with overcoming the fear of judgment, as well as what to do when you receive bad comments. Here's how I was able to handle it. Hopefully, this will inspire you so that now you can show up for your audience and be a blessing to them. I'm also the founder of the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. So if you want to learn how to create content that sells in 5 days or less, feel free to DM me the word challenge accepted, and I will personally send you an invite to the challenge. So I want to go right into the root of the fear of where judgment is really coming from. Let me say that again because that sounded very strange. I want to go into the root of where the fear of judgment is really coming from, right? So I remember for me, when I first started creating content on social media, there was a particular video that I was shooting, and it was a fun video. But the entire time that I was shooting the video in my head, I kept thinking, oh my goodness, people are going to judge my background. They're going to judge the way that I look. They're not going to like me. They're going to challenge me. That's what I kept thinking, right? And I remember thinking to myself, I do not want to post this video. It didn't matter that I had someone shooting it for me. It didn't matter that I was going to edit it. I said, I'm not posting this video because I don't want anyone to see it. Well, it got to the day where I actually needed to post it because I ran out of other content to post, right? So I remember holding my breath and closing my eyes. And I went and I hit post on that video. I posted it on Instagram and TikTok at 8 a.m. in the morning. And by 12 o'clock, that video came back to me in a Facebook group. That video went viral so fast that my head was spinning. And I learned that day that the fastest way to spread your message is by using social media. And it also taught me something. The person who took my video from Instagram and shared it in her Facebook group, she said, I don't know who this person is, but it brought me so much joy. And I learned that while I'm in my head, thinking, oh my goodness, people are going to judge me. They're not going to like it. They're going to make fun of me. There are people out there who can benefit from the services that I have and just from my presence and showing up. And so I want you to think about that for those of you who are afraid that you're going to be judged. You're afraid that people are going to reject you when you show up on social media. There are actually people who are waiting for you. You actually make their day when you show up, right? And so where this fear was coming from, this fear of being judged, was actually coming from a space in me where I was rejected. When I was younger, I was rejected by my peers. I was bullied when I was a kid, right? Like I remember in the fourth grade, I was so sad that one of my friends was moving away, and I cried every day because I missed her. We used to be in the same class. She was my best friend, and then she moved to Pennsylvania, and I cried every single day. And the kids in my class thought I was weak because of that. So they started bullying me. So that form of rejection, it lived with me. I thought, okay, it's not safe to share my emotions. That's where some of you are. You got made fun of because of an idea you had when you were a child. You got made fun of because of something that you did. And because of that, when it comes time to show up in video, you don't want to experience that rejection again. So now it's hindering you from moving forward. That's where I was. Another thing is I grew up in the projects. And in my hood, they don't care about who you are, right? It don't matter how many friends you make. The hood, a lot of people in here are selfish. They will blast their music till 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't care if you're going to get some sleep, right? So I remember during COVID time, God had just delivered me from the spirit of rejection. I'll tell that story in a little bit. But he had just delivered me from the spirit of rejection. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm free now. Any of you ever gone through a deliverance before and you think like, my whole life is different now. I'm completely changed. This thing's never going to bother me again. Lo and behold, the very next day, I went back home to the projects, and they were having a party every single night because they didn't have to work. They didn't have to go to school. Every night they had a party. And I remember the music just blasting till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. The streets just flooded with people. Meanwhile, we're supposed to be on a shutdown, but they did not care. And I remember feeling that rejection all over again. And I went to God and I was like, look, you delivered me from rejection. Why do I feel it now? And he said, because although you were delivered, you also have to be healed from rejection as well. Right. And what he wanted me to do was start to identify what was causing the rejection. And I realized that living in the hood and feeling like a poor girl made me also feel rejected. There aren't privileges that are offered to you when you don't have a lot of money. So my society was also rejecting me. And when I was able to identify these things, it actually helped me to overcome the fear of judgment, because I realized it's not that no, I realized that I just needed to be healed. So some of you where you're afraid of showing up because you think people are going to judge you, I'm going to tell you right now, they will. They will judge you, right? But you want to heal from the fear of rejection. You didn't start that business so that it could be a secret, and you didn't start that business so that no one will ever hear about it. You started it to make an impact. You started it to reach the masses. But if you're afraid that people are going to judge you, you're never going to say or do the things that's going to truly reach your audience. So God had to heal me from rejection before I even started my business, right? So in 2019, so I'll walk you through my deliverance journey. In 2019, not 2019, 2020, I decided, you know what, Lord, I want to go on a solo retreat. Have any of you ever done that before? Like you went on a solo retreat? And if you're here, you can feel free to just write in the chat if anything is resonating with you. You can also ask questions in the chat if you want to. But this is the Wisdom to Wealth podcast, where it gets to be a lot more conversational. I just get to share my journey to wealth, actually, on this podcast. So I went on a solo retreat with God, and God told me, don't plan anything. I'm going to take care of everything. And I was nervous because I was like, God, what if you don't show up? And I know it's funny asking God, what if you don't show up? And then he's omnipresent on top of that, right? So he said, don't plan anything. I'm gonna do everything. And so I remember on day one of the retreat, he showed up, he walked me through an activity to do. And by day 3 of the retreat, I was getting delivered from the spirit of rejection. Right. And so I remember I was playing this song. It was by Tasha Cobbs. I can't remember the exact song right now, but I was singing it and I'm worshiping. And then I feel my spirit crying out, right? Like my tears get heavier. And then there's this fear that just comes upon me. And I can see, because I have visions and I have dreams. That's one way that God speaks to me. And if you feel confident, feel free to write in the chat, how does God speak to you? Right. So I get dreams and I get visions. So in the moment, I got a vision of the word rejection, and just this black space representing my soul, and the word rejection in big bold words was just sitting there. Oh, hey, Kwan, I didn't even know you was here, right? Yeah, Kwanda says that God speaks to her through dreams too, right? So the word rejection was just big and bold on my soul, right? And I can see it. And I remember crying to God, and I said, rejection is there, Lord. How can you heal me from this? And God asked me a question. He said, what have I said about you? And so now in that moment, as he asked me that question, I remember seeing accepted fly in, but it had these tiny wings. So accepted flew in and it just had these tiny wings. And I said to God, you accepted me, but the word is too small to take the place of rejection. And he said, that's because I didn't accept you. I chose you. And in that moment, I can see chosen in huge, bigger words, bigger letters, bolder than rejection, just come shooting down from the sky, and it crushed rejection. And now what sits on my soul is chosen, that God chose me. But in that moment, if any of you have ever gone through a deliverance before, I started to manifest. What do I mean by that? There are many different ways. I know this podcast is not about deliverance, but there are many different ways that we manifest when we're going through a deliverance. And one of them was throwing up. So in that moment, I started gagging and I had to run to the toilet to throw up. And I knew the spirit was leaving me, right? And so I got delivered from the spirit of rejection in right then and there. And this was before God told me to start creating content. This was before God told me to start my business. He knew, hey, my daughter's going to face this trial. And in order to equip her and to prepare her, I need to deliver her from the spirit of rejection. So I got delivered first. And a couple of months later, God tells me to start creating content full time so that I wouldn't allow fear of being judged or rejection to hinder me from being a blessing to my audience, right? So, really getting to the root. Where is your judgment coming from? For me, it was rejection. For some of you, it could be rejection as well. Like typically, perfectionism, imposter syndrome, fear of judgment, a lot of it has a similar root, which is rejection. And sometimes many people aren't doing as great as they could in their business or their careers because this fear of rejection is still there. But if you can identify it and address it, then get delivered from it or heal from it, then you can actually show up, right? So whenever I did that, I was able to show up for my audience and be a blessing to them. The next thing that I had to do was I had to reframe my mind, because now when I don't know if you ever noticed this, but when you are working your 9 to 5, it doesn't matter about childhood trauma. It's not popping up as much when you're working a 9 to 5 because you get a security check every week or every 2 weeks. There's someone over you who's telling you what to do. Even if you're a self-starter, your position lets you know what you should be doing every single day, right? So you don't really got to rely on anything else. There's already a system put in place. But when you start your own business, there is no system put in place. You're the one building everything. You're doing everything from scratch. And because you're the one who births this thing, it now becomes a reflection of you. And if people don't buy from you, if people don't like your content, what you put out, you start thinking, oh, it's me, they're rejecting me, right? And so that's what I used to think. I had to shift my mind. I had to do a reframe. And instead of focusing on my fear of judgment or feeling camera shy, right? Those thoughts have you focusing on you. What if people judge me? What if I mess up? What if I embarrass myself? Oh, I'm too scared to get on camera. That's all about me, me, me. But I had to shift my mindset. I had to reframe it. Instead of focusing on me, focus on my dream client. Focus on the people that I was called to serve. Could you do that? Could you focus on the people that you're called to serve? Right. And when I started doing that, that's when I would show up boldly and confidently. And people would actually come to me and say, oh my goodness, I really needed this. I really needed you today. Everything you had to offer, I needed that. I was praying about this and you said it. You really helped me. And that let me know that God was using me in a bigger way. It's not just about creating content and getting sales, but it's also making an impact. And that impact can look different. That impact could be empowering someone for that day, motivating someone for that day, planting a seed with your words in their life so that they can go ahead and start a business or move up in their career. And I know for me, I much rather be purposeful than hiding. I much rather be purposeful than hiding, right? So, what if you can reframe your fear of judgment, your fear of being rejected, this imposter syndrome? What if you can reframe it and instead of focusing on you, you focus on your dream client and how you can serve them, right? So, once I did that, that helped me to show up more confidently. Another thing that really helped too was when I made my first 10K in a month. I promise you I will never forget that. When I made my first 10K in a month, I was like, oh, this really works. There's a time in your business where you're just doing stuff and you're hoping that it works. And then that hope turns into the manifestation of it actually working. So I hit 10K in my business in 1 month. And I was like, but it didn't stop there. I hit 30K. I made $30,000 in 3 months in my business. And I was like, oh, wow. So it didn't matter about the fear of judgment because I recognized, okay, once I release the fear, I'm actually showing up confidently. I'm helping people and they want to buy from me. So even if people left bad comments, and I'll go into that in a little bit, even if people left bad comments, I didn't care because ka-ching, ka-ching sounded a lot better than me not showing up because people were making fun of me, right? So really focusing on what the outcome is. Not only are you impacting people's lives, but you're also impacting your bank account. And that to me worked out so much better. All right. So the last thing I did was how to deal with bad comments, right? So some of you don't want to show up because you have a fear that people are going to leave bad comments. You have a fear that they're going to judge you, especially if you are a Christian and God has commissioned you to preach the word or to teach the word on your page. You might start thinking, I don't know the Bible enough, and people may judge me for that. There's a lot of, what do they call it? There's a lot of people out there who's always, I'm going to call them Pharisees. There's a lot of Pharisees who are always trying to check to see if you're actually saying the word right, right? And so because of that, you don't want to show up. But I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to bad comments, you're going to get them. People are also going to judge you. But what if you focused on your mission over the fear? Just what if, right? It's something that I think about all the time, that my mission is more important than the fear. And I actually got that from Jesus, because every time that Jesus showed up, that's what happened to him. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, they left bad comments for him. They tested him every single time he was talking. And he's God. And they were trying to tell him he wasn't God, right? There will be people out there where you operate in integrity and they don't. So they try to attack your character when you're live. They try to write nasty things. I remember, like, I used to wear a lot more makeup on my face, right? Because I liked it. I like doing my cheeks and all that stuff. And people would make fun of my makeup. They'll be like, do you even know how to do your makeup? And honestly, no, because I'm not a makeup artist. I'm a marketing coach and I don't care, right? One time someone told me that I look like a man. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what part, but okay, right? I've had people where they try to attack my character. Like, I'm teaching on, I teach Bible marketing secrets. That's my main thing that I teach. And I've had people come into my chats and say, this is the prosperity gospel. And in my mind, I'm like, what is the prosperity gospel? I don't even, that doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. The prosperity gospel, that whole, like, people attacking it doesn't make sense. Like, you do prosper from the gospel. That's what eternal life is, prosperity. Like, it's so weird. But in those moments, my goal isn't to defend myself. And that's the thing. So, because I've had people come to me and tell me, yeah, the reason why I don't want to post videos is because I don't want people to say something, then I'm going to have to defend myself. Why? Why do you have to defend yourself? Let your character do the talking for you, right? Like, anyone who has ever met me knows that I operate in integrity. So if someone else is saying something differently, they haven't actually met me and they don't really matter. What really matters is that I'm serving my people and I'm serving them with integrity, and they feel like they're being blessed by the things that I'm offering them. There's always going to be someone who's hating on you, someone who's trying to attack you, someone who leaves a bad comment, and really it's because it's a distraction to get you to stop. That's really what it is. Yes, thank you, Quanda. Quanda said, me either, but I show up. Okay? Because that's all that matters. Like, they're just trying to distract you from your purpose. Just like the Pharisees tried to distract him, try to distract Jesus from his purpose. What was Jesus's purpose? It was to go to the cross and save the world. He was going to die on that cross and he was going to save the world. Of course, die and resurrect and ascend. I got to say the whole gospel, because one time I got caught up, right? Okay. So that was his mission. But imagine if he was like, forget them jokers. I ain't dying for them. I ain't going to the cross. Let me go back to heaven. But he didn't do that. He stayed focused on his mission. And so there's a lot of you in here where you have a mission. Stay focused on it. And the bad comments, here's the other reframe. Those bad comments is actually helping you. It may hurt your confidence in the moment. It may throw you off a little bit, but the algorithm on any social media platform cannot tell the difference between a bad comment and a good comment. It's all engagement to social media. So if they're in there and they're leaving bad comments, just thank them. You don't got to thank them to their face, because I ain't doing that. I'm going to thank them in my head. Like, thanks, because you're helping this get pushed, because social media is recognizing this as content, period. I remember, like, watching, I can't remember who it was, but somebody posted a video and it was all negative comments on that person's video. But do you know that video was a viral video? All the comments were negative. It was bad. It was nasty, but it was a viral video. What did that teach that person? If you want to do this, if you want to go viral again, post more controversial content like this, right? But I'm pretty sure it didn't break their confidence. Now, here's the thing. Bad comments, it can hurt your confidence, right? But again, these people aren't making or breaking your business. We shouldn't be focused on just the bad comments that we get. Also focus on the good comments that you get. And the good comments that you get doesn't have to be written under your post. It could be the testimonials that you receive, the people who you have blessed just because you showed up. There's someone out there who's not going to meet you through word of mouth and referrals. So a lot of my dream clients, you're building your business with word of mouth and referrals. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're ready to get to the next level, when you're ready to expand and make a bigger impact, the only way you're going to reach some of the people who are waiting for you is through your video content. But if you keep being comfy with word of mouth and referrals, guess what? You're never going to show up to reach the more. When Jesus was going town to town, he did that on purpose. He didn't stay in one town, right? He could have stayed in Nazareth, but he didn't. He went town to town because he knew that there's a bunch of people that's never going to meet him if he only stays in Nazareth. So if you only stay doing word of mouth and referrals, there's a group of people that you're going to miss that is waiting for your service, that is waiting for you to bless them when you post your video content, right? So this last piece is actually just trusting God when you're building your business, right? Focusing on your purpose, praying over your content, and focusing on profitability. There's nothing wrong with that. Like the goal when you're posting your video content is so that you can profit from it and you can make an impact with it. But if you don't show up, it's going to be extremely hard to be able to do that. When I was able to shift out of focusing on me and focusing on my dream clients, there are days that I don't want to show up. Today, I didn't feel like going live this morning at 9 a.m. Right now, I didn't feel like doing the podcast. But I said, I'm going to keep on showing up because at the end of the day, I know this is going to bless people. Right. And then there's going to come a day where people watch these videos and be like, thank you so much. That helped me. It happens all the time. Right. So how can you shift your focus if you have a fear of judgment? What is one thing you can do today to start to overcome that? Could it be that you address what the true fear is? If it's rejection, can you get some healing from it? For me, it was me and God. That's how I got healed from it. But there are therapists out there that you can go to as well that can help you heal from your rejection. There are tools that you can put in place to help you heal from rejection so that you can show up on camera. And then I want to leave you with this last thing. It's a belief that I give to all of my clients. I want you to get this in your bones and get it in your soul. When people see me, they pay me. When people see me, they pay me. That is a true thing. I couldn't have built my business to 6 figures until I first started being seen. I couldn't have been being asked to speak internationally and getting paid for it if I first wasn't being seen. There are many people. I want you to think about Kev on Stage. And I'm bringing him up because he keeps popping up on my Instagram. But Kev on Stage, he was a regular schmegular guy working a 9 to 5. God told him to quit his 9 to 5. He started posting content on YouTube. And look how big he is now. Now that he's getting seen, he's getting paid. He has his own comedy tour. He employs other comedians so that they can get exposed too. And for a lot of you, that's what God wants to do with you and your business. He wants you to be seen. But here's the thing, he'll never go against your free will. So if your free will is, I want to be hidden because I don't want anyone to see me, then you won't be able to reap the benefits of being seen. There's some of you who should be on high profile podcasts and bigger stages. And social media is the door that's going to open that for you. But if you don't let go of, oh, I don't want people to judge me. Oh my goodness, I'm afraid of being on camera. They'll never see you and you won't be able to hit the impact that you desire. So if you're in here and you're like, thank you, Star, that's something that I needed. This was a motivating podcast. What do I do next? We do help you to overcome your fear of judgment and being camera shy in our Convert Content to Cash challenge. In the challenge, we show you how to create content that sells in 5 days or less, but we also help you get out of your mind, like not out of your mind, but get rid of your limiting beliefs so you can show up for your audience, right? So this thing that I just taught today, we talk about it in a challenge too, and we help you to go deeper. I've had clients who have had major success, like growing their brand to over 40,000 followers, getting 60,000 leads from one viral video, making $750 in just 3 days, making $350 in just 9 minutes, right? Like acceleration is there for a reason. But the only way you're going to be able to experience that is if you let go of the limiting beliefs and you start showing up to be a blessing to your audience. You want to know how you can do that? All you have to do is DM me the word challenge accepted, and I'll personally send you an invite to the Convert Content to Cash challenge. In the show notes, the link will also be there as well. The replays for the Wisdom to Wealth podcast is only on LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you want to get access to it, those are 2 platforms that you want to watch it on. And then you can join us in the Convert Content to Cash challenge. You all have a wonderful day. We'll be back again, I think, on Monday with a new episode.